We're Ashley and Christian, and we started traveling together in March of 2017 and haven't stopped since. After visiting over 30 countries across 4 continents, we've become hooked on seeing, tasting, and trying new things. Being pushed out of our comfort zones while traveling has inspired us to set a crazy goal of visiting every country in the world. Morning from the Puerto Escondido airport. We're getting on a very small plane today to fly to Oaxaca. So it's only a 30-minute plane ride. We should have a really beautiful view of the jungle between Puerto Escondido and Oaxaca. There's a few options of how to get to Oaxaca, and we'll explain a little bit later why we chose this. We're flying with an airline called Aerotucan. It's, like I said, a very small plane, and we have to check in at the airport 1 hour before our flight. 22 kilos. We were allowed 15 kilos each. So we checked in at the counter. It was super easy to get through the check-in line in about 10 minutes. The plane only has 6 or 7 seats on it, I believe. These are our boarding passes. They are handwritten. We board at 7:40 and it's about 7:10 right now, so we have to get through airport security. We are not getting onto this big plane right here. We are getting onto that little tiny one. Those are our bags right there. So cool. They're like sitting right behind the pilot. Pretty easy landing, I think, because there's so few people in here. The plane doesn't have as much weight. Everything went great, and we are officially in Oaxaca. Feels so good outside right now. It's like 8:30 a.m. That flight only took 30 minutes. It was so pretty getting to fly over like the jungle, some farmland. It's almost like its own little excursion getting to fly on that. So very worth it. This is the airport we're going to fly out of to go back to the US as well. It's actually a pretty good-sized airport. We're just waiting on our luggage, although I don't know what is taking so long because it's been a little bit. We obviously are still at the airport. There's only 2 options when leaving Oaxaca. It appears is that you either pay 390 pesos for a taxi or you pay 100 per person for a colectivo, and so we're just gonna wait on the colectivo and save about 200 pesos because it'll still take us directly to our hotel. We just have to wait a while, so we're waiting in this little cafe. The city taxis will not allow you to get into their car. So you have to use the airport taxi company or the colectivos. This is the colectivo, and it will drop us off directly at our hotel. I think we're just waiting on some more people, but 200 pesos for both of us, so $10. We have made it to our hotel, and we're staying in a Parador hotel, which from what I understand means like a historic building. So this building is from, I believe, the 1700s. They've obviously renovated it, but it's beautiful. Like, this is the foyer area. So it's really pretty. We can't check in yet. We can't check in until 2.
We really didn't know much about like the terrace and stuff, and this is like absolutely incredible. So they have this beautiful pool up here and really good sitting areas. You can see cathedrals from the roof as well as the whole city. View is incredible. I can definitely tell that this city just has a lot of stuff to do and very beautiful. You found your spot.
I will not be moving. And it's so nice out right now. We're gonna make the most of our time here for sure. So about the ADO bus situation from Puerto Escondido to Oaxaca or vice versa, the reason we didn't choose that is because it was just a very almost uncomfortable situation because of our own comfort, not because of anything anyone could have done.
Transportation in general in Mexico can be a little bit tricky if you're not familiar with it.
The ADO from Puerto Escondido leaves around 8 p.m. and arrives in Oaxaca around 7. And so it's an overnight bus. And honestly, that's good in most situations. We would have chosen that. We actually were originally going to do that. We would have checked out of our hotel by noon. We would have spent the day at the beach. And unbeknownst to us, we were going to fix a tooth that day too. So we had a lot going on.
A lot.
We wouldn't have had access to like our bathroom, our room, all of our stuff kind of like that. And then the overnight bus situation, I get very motion sick very easily. And from what I had read is that about a third of the road is very windy through the mountains, so I probably would have been sick and not sleeping very well. So we were gonna get in at 7, not be able to check into our hotel until 2. So then that time we would have gone over 24 hours without like a home or whatever you want to call it. We wouldn't have had anything, no way to take a shower, no way to like just be comfortable. Really those were our main reasons, were that we were gonna be dirty and wanted a shower and wanted to be comfortable. The ADO, it's $25 a person, US dollars a person. And yes, the Aerotucan flight we took was $150 a person.
And actually did end up finding this flight. I don't think it's posted very much.
That's a good point. You can't find it on Google Flights or anything. I found it, actually YouTube recommended it to me, so I think they know. It was like a 200 viewed video that was like, you can look at this flight from Puerto Escondido to Oaxaca. And yeah, so it's through a very random website. I will link it down below. They take your card info basically on a piece of paper, like a digital piece of paper, and then say, okay, we'll send you your tickets later, bye. It was like an attraction in itself. So that's another way we were kind of justifying the price of it, is that it's like, it's like another little excursion almost. Yeah, because we got to fly over the jungle, and you saw all the stuff in the video. It was beautiful and incredible. It is very pricey when you can compare the cost, but it was just something that I think we were willing to pay extra for this time for the comfort level of it.
All in all, it's a comparison between 30 minutes of travel or 12 hours. So
overnight too.
It's a very important thing to consider when you're traveling from Puerto Escondido to Oaxaca. You want to make sure that you book that flight far in advance, because the seats do book up relatively fast.
I think we would definitely choose the flight again. It was fun. And it was a very unique experience. We've flown on one other plane that small in Belize, but it was only like 15. I guess this flight wasn't that long either. It was only 15 minutes, but this one was 30 minutes, so very cool experience. We would do it again. We would recommend it.
And actually, we'll go ahead and put the link down below to the flight. That way you can find it from this video.